Hi and Assalamualaikum. I am Hafizah Ain binti Mahadi from Group 6. My metric number is F21B1306.
Hello, my name is Alia Amani binti Yusri. My metric number is F21B1283.
Hi, my name is Amir Zahruddin bin Kamar Zaman. My metric number is F21B1284.
Hi, my name is Amizhan bin Zulairi. My metric number is F21B1291.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hakim Mukris bin Osman and my matrix number is F21B1310.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Noshakira binti Ishaq. My matric number is F2080609.
So, today I want to give a definition of ruminant. Ruminant is an animal that chews the cud specifically and herbivores even though hoof mammal that has a complex 3 or 4 chamber stomach. Ruminants include cattle, sheep, deer, goats, giraffe, camels and llamas. Although camels, llamas and other camelids are sometimes not considered true ruminants because they possess a 3-chambered rather than a 4-chambered stomach. So, the first part is mouth. The oral cavity is one of the outermost organ in the digestive system. In this case, the oral cavity becomes the entry point for food or drink consumed. Thus, it can be said that the oral cavity is the entrance of any nutrient intake that will enter and be absorbed by the body. This organ of the oral cavity has several parts that make it up, starting from the mouth, tongue, teeth, salivary glands, lymphatic system of the oral cavity to the pharynx or throat. Each part that makes up the oral cavity has an equally important role, where each part of the oral cavity works together in chewing or processing food before it enters the body. So, it can be said that each structure of the oral cavities has its own function and interrelate in order to run the system works well as a whole. Next, the second part is esophagus. The esophagus serves as a connecting link between the oral cavity and the stomach. Food only passes through the esophagus without going through any process. This is because the esophagus ruminants in generally very short, about 5 cm, but it's able to widen to adjust the size and the texture of the food. That's all from me. Next, I will give to the next person.
Rumen. In the rumen, there are bacteria and protozoa that secrete the enzyme cellulose on food and convert cellulose to glucose. Reticulum. The bacterially digested grass enter the reticulum and cellulose digestion continues. Then food is vomited from the reticulum into the oral cavity while the fluid is resolved. Food that has become refined is resolved and goes into the omasome. Digestion is continued by bacteria and protozoa.
Assalamualaikum. I am Hafizun. I'm gonna talk about the omasome. The omasome serves as a filter in the deer digestion system. So the deer will continue to chew and swallow the cud while there are no pieces small enough to fit through and make their way to the omasome for enzymatic digestion. The omasome is spherical and connected to the reticulum by a short tunnel. The omasome also has a heavily folded lining, allowing for between 60 to 70% of the water to be absorbed. It is called the many pulse or the butcher Bible in reference to many fold or leaf that resemble pages of book. Also in ruminants with a more sophisticated omasome, the large surface area allow it to play a key role in the absorption of water, electrolyte, volatile fatty acid, mineral and the fermentation of food. While young ruminants that are still drinking milk have an esophageal groove that allow milk to bypass the rumen and go straight from the esophagus to the omasome. The omasum can be found on the right side of the cranial portion of the rumen. The omasum has two physical compartments, which is omasal canal that transfer food from the reticulum to the omasum, and the interlaminate recesses between the mucosal laminal, which provide the area for absorption. It seems that the larger particle can be pushed back into the reticulum for further digestion. Shall they make it through the reticulo-omasal orifice. From the omasum, the chyme move into the fourth and final chamber, which is the abomasum. The smallest omasum belong to ruminant that consume high quality diet like the moose and roe deer, while the largest belong to those who are unselective grass and selective grass like cattle and sheep. The omasum is not only bigger in grass, but there is greater differentiation in the book-like structure, like seen as an increase in the number of laminin.
The abomasum, also known as the maw, drainage bag or retrieve, is the fourth and the final stomach compartment in the ruminants and located near the floor of abdominal cavity on the right side, below the omasum. Beside that, the abomasum is the only compartment lined with glands. These glands release the hydrochloric acid and digestive enzyme needed to break down the feeds. The abomasum is similar to a non-ruminant stomach. And the last one is the rumen allows for the deer to gather a lot of food at once and then digest it later. The deer bring back the food back up into their mouth and chew it again. And this process is called as ruminating, name of the rumen.
Finally, the food enters the last chamber, the abomasum, when it's sent on to the small intestine where the nutrients in the food are absorbed. The digestive system lets the white-tailed deer eat food like woody plant that other animals can digest.
And last, for my part, I want to share about large intestine. The large intestine serves as a place of water absorption. The remnant of food that are not absorbed are sent to the large intestine. After experiencing water absorption, food waste in the form of waste is expelled through the anus as waste material. The remnant of previous digestion are pushed by intestinal peristalsis into the large intestine. The rest still contains minerals and water. Most of the absorption of minerals and water in the large intestine. Absorption occurs throughout the intestinal wall. Substances that are absorbed will be distributed throughout the body units, while the rest of dregs of absorption will be excreted throughout the rectum.
Okay, the final part of this section is about the monogastric versus the polygastric digestive system. The definition: monogastric digestive system is a system that comprises of a single compartment stomach that acts in the digestive process. And about the polygastric digestive system is a system that comprises of a multi-compartment stomach that aids in the digestion. And about the compartment, single compartment. About the monogastric is a single compartment, and the polygastric is a 4 compartment. And the number 3, compartment of the stomach. Monogastric doesn't have a compartment of the stomach, but the polygastric has a rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Ability to the digest colulus. Monogastric has a partially or only in the monogastric herbivore. And polygastric can completely digest conclusions to the volatile fatty acid. From volatile fatty acid, monogastric has formed volatile fatty acid, but polygastric doesn't have form volatile fatty acid. And re-swallow and chew. Monogastric unable to re-swallow and chew. Polygastric are able to the re-swallow and chew. And microbe involvement. Only gut microbiota is involved in the digestive process. Polygastric has rumen bacteria and protozoa plays important roles in digestion. Lastly, organism. Monogastric non-ruminant doesn't have ruminant, non-ruminant, rabbit and human. Polygastric has ruminant, cattle, sheep and deer. That's all. Thank you.